Hey, have you ever run into those nationalistic internet trolls, little pinks, or even foreign shills, smugly bragging about how advanced and wealthy modern China has become? They show off bullet trains, mega infrastructure, and endless skyscrapers, some even wearing t-shirts emblazoned with Mao Zedong's face, declaring before their cameras, "See, our communist system is vastly superior to the chaos of Western democracy. We concentrate power to accomplish grand tasks, unlike Western parliaments that waste years just debating a single bill." They flood democratic nations with cash to buy real estate, genuinely believing they stand at the pinnacle of civilization. In reality, these people are too ignorant to realize that the idol they worshipped was merely an opportunistic scam artist with zero governing vision, who spent his entire life climbing over the bodies of the very people he deceived. China's brief economic boom was never a triumph of their system. It was a mirage born from the West's naive, decades-long fantasy that economic growth would naturally steer China toward democracy. Now, under Xi Jinping, the self-proclaimed true successor of Mao, the international scam of the Belt and Road Initiative, hysterical wolf warrior diplomacy, and the deliberate cover-up and spread of the Wuhan virus have thoroughly shattered the West's illusions. Foreign capital is fleeing in droves, mass unemployment looms, and past economic dividends are entirely exhausted. This miserable unraveling was preordained the exact moment that supreme political conman Mao Zedong seized power. Unless the people of this land find the courage to completely overthrow this totalitarian party, they are fundamentally doomed to be managed like livestock, penned and controlled for generations. Some might argue the Chinese people are innocent victims and only the CCP is to blame. But without the active support or cold, indifferent apathy of the Chinese populace, how could China have ever fallen into the hands of such a tyrannical, regressive regime? Today, we peel back the layers on modern history's most evil, despotic political conman, Mao Zedong, and look at exactly how he scammed an entire nation into his hands. AD 1919, the Peking University Library. When you open your eyes, you are merely a shabbily dressed library assistant with a thick, heavy Hunan accent. Your name is Mao Zedong. In those days, the elite professors and intellectuals of PKU looked right through you, but the deep-seated inferiority and toxic resentment brewing within became the very fuel you used to consume the world later. You spent every ounce of cunning to ingratiate yourself with Li Dazhao and Chen Dushu, the passionate pathfinders of early Chinese communism, sucking away their ideas like a parasite. Your mouth preached high-minded ideology, but your mind was strictly running a brutal political business. The moment the party was formed and massive Soviet rubles flooded in, your predatory, opportunistic instincts kicked into overdrive. You realized those intellectuals speaking of pure Marxist theory were no match for you. Though you lacked the prestige of studying in Soviet Russia like your outstanding predecessors, your mastery of combining ancient Chinese imperial palace intrigue tactics with communism made you absolutely unrivaled within this Soviet-backed puppet party. Within this lawless, predatory viper pit of the early CCP, you began frantically chanting, "Long live Stalin," bartering your soul to secure the trust of the Kremlin. While pretending to be insignificant, you sharpened your blade in the dark. During the 1930 Futian incident, you raised the butcher's knife against your own comrades without a single blink, slaughtering tens of thousands of Red Army brothers. You discovered the ultimate shortcut. In this system, butchering your own allies under the guise of purging internal traitors was the fastest way to eliminate rivals and elevate your absolute power. By the time of the Yan'an Rectification movement, you weaponized ideological trauma to break every dissenting voice and destroy their families, permanently cementing your supreme, godlike authority over the entire party.
AD 1937, the total outbreak of the anti-Japanese war. While the soldiers and citizens of China spilled their blood and sacrificed their lives on the front lines to resist a foreign invader, you lurked safely inside your hidden Yan'an cave, staring at the military map with a cold, cynical sneer. You issued the most shameless covert directive to your troops. The party's true policy is 1% resisting Japan, 20% dealing with formalities, and 70% expanding our own power. You never viewed the nationalist government as compatriots, nor did you ever view the invading Japanese military as enemies. To aggressively expand your territory, you became the greatest traitor in Chinese history. You secretly dispatched Pan Hanyan to collude with Japanese spy agencies, personally selling the vital military intelligence of the Republic of China's armed forces to the invaders, using the Japanese blade to slaughter the very compatriots defending the front lines. Years later, you would openly thank the Japanese military for their invasion, for only by muddying the waters could you sit back and reap the ultimate harvest. In 1945, to play your part in this grand political theater, you flew to Chongqing. At the negotiation table, your face was a mask of submissive smiles as you shouted, "Long live Chairman Chiang," to the very man who held your life in his hands. The more hollowly humble your smile appeared, the sharper the bayonet hidden behind your back became. You deceived China's intellectuals and peasants with the foulest lies, promising them democracy, the downfall of local tyrants, and land redistribution. Instead, you turned around, launched a bloody civil war, ruthlessly backstabbed the Republic of China, and dragged the entire nation into an eternal abyss of totalitarian tyranny. AD 1949. You stood atop the Tiananmen rostrum, declaring in your heavy Hunan accent that the Chinese people have stood up. In truth, you were the only single individual who stood up to become a supreme local emperor. The remaining hundreds of millions were forced to their knees as your absolute slaves. The moment you seized power, your immediate act was to launch the 3 anti and 5 anti campaigns, along with various political movements, using public trials and physical private lynchings to ruthlessly liquidate anyone who posed a shadow of a threat to your throne. In 1958, to feed your vainglorious vanity to surpass the UK and US, you personally masterminded the absurd Great Leap Forward and Backyard Furnace campaigns. You forcibly plundered the peasants' very last mouthful of grain, deliberately engineering the largest, most catastrophic man-made famine in human history. 36 to 40 million living human beings starved to death in their barren villages as the absolute horror of cannibalism ravaged the countryside. When your own hand-picked successor, Liu Shaoqi, attempted to correct your madness and subsequently gained popularity within the party, your massive, untouchable imperial ego was cut to the quick. You envied him, you hated him. Thus, flipping the chessboard, You instigated a decade of total devastation known as the Cultural Revolution, entirely to rip absolute power back from Liu Shaoqi's hands. You watched with a smirk as Liu Shaoqi was battered, humiliated, and tortured to death, with no one even daring to claim his corpse. In public, your mouth was dripping with high-minded righteousness as you penned dictums against the bourgeoisie. In private, you wallowed in a secretive state-privileged supply network, indulging in a decadent, luxurious lifestyle that would make ancient emperors blush with envy. You plundered the national treasury to become the wealthiest tycoon across China. You immersed yourself in superstitious Taoist sexual arts of yin-yang harvesting, exploiting countless young, beautiful girls from the military troop. You proclaimed yourself the savior of the people, when in reality, you were merely a sanctimonious hypocrite, a blood-sucking monster perched atop a mountain of tens of millions of skeletons. In September 1976, the heavy shadow of death finally suffocated your bed in Jiangnanhai. You discovered with pure terror that the grand purges of your lifetime bought you nothing but utter, absolute isolation. Your eldest public son, Mao Anying, was incinerated on the battlefield because he couldn't resist a craving for a bowl of egg-fried rice, permanently fracturing your dynastic dream of inherited imperial rule. Your second son was driven to madness by your own hand. Your sole legitimate grandson became a bumbling, low IQ laughingstock to the world, with darker rumors whispering he was the product of your own incestuous relations with your son's wife. Your most trusted comrade in arms, Lin Biao, plotted to blow you up with missiles before crashing to his death in a foreign desert. In your final days, paralyzed, drooling, and lacking even the strength to sketch a circle on a document, you were reduced to watching your remaining mistresses randomly scribble approval or disapproval over state papers under your name. You thought death would grant you an escape, but a mere month after you closed your eyes, the Gang of Four, led by your last wife, Jiang Qing, was arrested. Their downfall finally marked the end of the absurd decade of the Cultural Revolution. Your deceptive communist disciples, desperate to inherit your political empire, dumped all your personal historical sins onto the Gang of Four. You thought signing that cremation consent form meant you could burn into ash and enter reincarnation. Instead, for their own survival, those political descendants mummified you into a dried corpse, trapping you inside a crystal coffin to be displayed like a specimen to this very day. On the surface, 50 years after your death as a deceptive demon, the Chinese populace can no longer use public struggle sessions and physical lynchings to torture innocent people into false confessions before beating them to death. Yet, in 2026, the communist demonic loop of class struggle has never stopped. It has merely assumed a digital skin. Driven by advanced internet technology, modern social media censorship and doxing storms run rampant. Cyber trolls and state-sponsored click farms wave the banner of digital justice to brand dissenters as dogs or traitors. The cyber police, those state-funded black-hide dogs of the dictatorship, will trace you within 20 hours if you dare post any reactionary thoughts online, storming your front door or dragging you to the precinct via threatening phone calls. Modern algorithmic prisons and literary inquisitions relentlessly batter the victim's soul until they collapse into total mental and social annihilation. Meanwhile, horrifying reports of teenagers being abducted to harvest organs for aging party leaders crop up constantly. So, has this country, founded by a professional political scam artist, truly reformed and opened up? If you were God,
What kind of twisted afterlife would you arrange for this supreme political con man who climbed over the bones of those who trusted him and managed hundreds of millions like mere farm animals to fit his unpardonable crimes? Would you condemn him to reincarnate as a broiler chicken in a highly automated factory farm, dying a brutal death every 3 to 4 months to be sliced into fried chicken cutlets, an infinite loop of slaughter until he pays off the staggering toll of lives he destroyed? Or would you trap his soul inside a breeding boar, forced into endless, exhausting procreation until his body breaks down, only to be butchered and sold as cheap meat? Or would you simply sentence his spirit to be permanently chained within the square inches of that freezing crystal coffin, forced 24 hours a day to look at the endless crowds queuing to ostensibly worship his rind, while his soul is cursed to read the raw, naked thoughts of every single onlooker in the deep chambers of their minds, unable to utter a single sound of defense? Why do you think the all-powerful God allowed such atrocities back then? Perhaps God unleashed this deceptive demon as a divine punishment for the Chinese citizens who, during the war against Japan, only swept the snow from their own doorsteps and refused to bleed for their nation. Or was it to punish the greedy peasants who passionately backed a bloody civil war just to plunder local tyrants and grab a free piece of land? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. What do you think God should do to make this world a little fairer?
Hey, still here? Enjoying the despair of your past life, aren't you? Did that past life make you shout WTF inside? If yes, welcome back. You've regained your memory. Trust me, you are so much happier now. Since you survived, support this down-and-out angel. Like and subscribe to keep the updates flowing. It won't send you to heaven, but it lets me stay here with you in hell. See ya.